Let's go. The future of gaming. PlayStation 5. Geoff, you have no mic. Geoff, your mic is...
Event.
Okay.
I'm so excited. I hope you are too. This is a really special day, and I'm excited to do this live on YouTube. We've, for the past 5 years, always had these big E3 shows in the summer, and of course, this summer is very different for all of us for a number of reasons. And I still think it's so important for the community around the world to come together to celebrate games. So over the next hour, we've got an amazing pre-show with some incredible YouTube creators from around the world who will be joining us. Some of them will be joining us live. Some will be joining us on tape. And we're just going to come together to celebrate games. And then at the top of the hour, of course, will be the PlayStation 5 stream that we'll all watch together live right here. And then afterwards, we're going to have a post-show with reactions and some other great stuff as well tied to this reveal. I do think it's just important to mention, though, everything that has happened this year so far that has brought us to this state. If you asked me in January if I'd be sitting in a spare room here in Los Angeles broadcasting the PlayStation 5 event, which is going to be this pre-taped video, it just would have been inconceivable to me.
Love you, Geoff.
We've obviously gone through a lot over the past few months with the COVID pandemic and how that's impacted the entire video game landscape, especially for events. And then more recently with, of course, everything that's happened with the sort of systemic racism and violence against the Black community. It's been disheartening to sort of see everything that's happened over the past few weeks, and spirit breaking for a lot of us, I think, to have 2020 be a year that has come with so much that has weighed on us. And I don't want to do anything more than just acknowledge that right now and say that I think one of the great things about games is that it brings us together as a community. I've always loved games, that it allows us to play different roles and it see things from different perspectives and understand the world in new and unique ways.
You guys hear him all right?
We found a lot of comfort in gaming, and the fact that this is a new console year is really exciting. And I hope this is a moment where we can kind of, for a couple of hours, just gather as a community around the world and celebrate how much this passion point means to all of us and get excited about the future of this medium. Today is about PlayStation, but I also think it's about the future of games and how exciting gaming is, that it's this blend of technology and entertainment, and that means the games always get better. And this is a big moment to see what the next 5 to 7 years of gaming is going to look like. And Sony has called the ball by saying this is the future of gaming. So I'm really excited to see what they have for us. Anyways, we've got a lot of great guests that will join us over the next hour to talk about our predictions for PlayStation and what we expect to see. But before we get into that, I wanted to kind of recap a little bit on what we do know so far about PlayStation 5. And we will have, again, as I mentioned, the live event, which we can all watch together here live at the top of the hour.
Yeah,
so thank you
let's
for
go
joining
PS5
us, in these kind of unusual circumstances. But I'm really, really excited about what we're about to see today. So PlayStation 5. A lot of people have been wondering, what are we going to get to see today? PlayStation 4, I remember being in New York City for the PlayStation meeting, which was, I think, at the end of February. It's like February 20th, if I remember right. And that was a big moment of PlayStation, and people wondered, were they going to show the box? Well, they didn't, but they showed a lot of great games and talked about the system. This is different. This is not a PlayStation meeting. It's PlayStation 5, the future of gaming. We're obviously going to see games, and that's going to be a big part of it. But people want to know more about the PlayStation 5 hardware. What can we expect? Are we going to see the box today? I don't know. It feels like it's going to be more about the games today. But one thing we have seen is the PlayStation 5 controller, the DualSense. That was sort of surprisingly dropped on the internet a little while ago, and you can see it here. Really cool two-tone look to it. And one of the things that is unfortunate, given the fact that we're all kind of staying at home and not going to events, is I haven't had a chance to hold this. I don't think many people have. And when you talk to a lot of game developers, they talk about the haptics in the controller and a lot of the interesting things that Sony is doing with this controller. And it looks really unique and different. It's a bit of a redesign from the traditional, DualShock. But from what I've heard, there's a lot of interesting technology inside of that controller. So it looks futuristic, but also has a lot of futuristic technologies in it. And hopefully we'll learn a little bit about that today. In terms of the games, We know that we're going to see PlayStation 5 games, and we've gotten some hints of what PlayStation 5 might be capable of. Many of you probably watched Mark Cerny's talk back in March. I think it's up to like 15 plus million views on YouTube, about his road to PlayStation 5. And he's such a brilliant author and architect of the platform, thinking of how we can really push the medium forward with this dedicated hardware and a new console generation. And you've probably heard about the SSD drive.
Guys,
in
PlayStation
the
5 conference is in 45 minutes. This is the pre-show.
And experiences, not just better graphics. And that's something hopefully we'll hear a bit about today. The first game, though, for PlayStation 5 was that we saw was at the Game Awards back in December. You may remember there was a title named Godfall that was revealed with a trailer near the top of the show. And a lot of people sort of got excited about it. And it was a bit of a surprise that the PlayStation logo was on that trailer. And it was, I think, the first confirmed game that was
they took that off real quick.
PlayStation 5. So Godfall, we don't know if it'll be included in today's event, but they've been teasing a little bit on social media with some visuals and whatnot over the past few weeks. So I would not be surprised if we see something on that today. But that was sort of our first glimpse of PlayStation 5. And then, of course, the other thing that recently happened that got a lot of excitement was the Unreal Engine 5 reveal that I was honored to do alongside Tim Sweeney and the team at Epic Games. And obviously a lot of speculation and excitement around what Unreal Engine 5 is going to be able to do with PlayStation 5. You can see a little bit of footage here of it. It's got a new technologies in it, including nanite, that allows them to do incredibly detailed worlds and full global illumination. This is all happening in real time in the game world. And as many of you know, Unreal Engine powers a lot of the big games out there across the industry. So this was a great glimpse at where games might go in the future. And this is a technology demo. We're not going to see this game announced today at the event or anything. I think this was really a tech demo, but it is playable. And I think captured all our imaginations about where games are going to go. And no, this is not probably what every game shipping this holiday season is going to look like. But when you see that flight moment with her flying through the air, and you just get excited about that, whether it's 2 years away or 4 years away, we're eventually going to get there. And that's what's so exciting about games, that, you see that and you just get naturally excited about the future of this medium. So that's a little bit of kind of what we know so far about PlayStation 5. I expect we'll have some new game announcements today. Sony's first party studios have been very quiet about what they've been working on for PlayStation 5. Of course, we know The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out next week from Naughty Dog, and then Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch for PS4. So there are two big PS4 games still to come. But what Sony's Worldwide Studios Group and Herman Hulst and the team have been putting together for PlayStation 5, hopefully we'll get a little bit of a tease of that today. One thing I have heard is that, this is and I think Jim Ryan, the CEO of PlayStation, has said, this is the start of the sort of PlayStation 5 story. It's not everything all in one event. So, there will likely be things that will be held until later this year. And like, will we see the console? Will every game get announced? It's like, I think we're in a mode now where game companies are spreading their news out a little bit. So I think we'll have a lot of news today, but it doesn't mean that's everything. And I'm sure there will be more to share over the coming months as we lead into holiday 2020. So it's going to be an exciting day. The countdown clock is up, and we are ready to get on to it. About 45 minutes until the live stream starts from PlayStation, and we're going to run that here live. So we'll watch that. We're not going to commentate over it. We really want to just all experience it together live, and then we'll come back with the post show after. But right now, we're going to bring in some special guests from around the world to talk about PlayStation and what we expect. And one of the things that was important to me with this show is let's bring everyone together. We've got some great YouTube creators from around the world that'll be joining us, and even from far off places like India. They've submitted videos, and I hope you'll see some familiar faces that you've seen on YouTube, but also other gamers, be introduced to them around the world. And what unites us all is this love of gaming and PlayStation. So let's kind of jump right into it with our first panel and welcome our first guest, someone you know very well, who's, I think, sufficiently excited about all things PlayStation. We've got Matt Pat joining us, the game theorist. Hello, Matt.
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having me on.
Great to have you on as well. We're excited about all things PlayStation. We've also got Jack Septiceye joining us live. Hello, Jack.
Hi, Papa Jeff. How's it going?
Papa Jeff.
It's going well. Your camera's looking good.
You too. Can we just compliment
Thank
each
you
other's
very
depth of
much.
field right now?
I was gonna say we're doing our best for PlayStation, which is exciting. And also joining us live from Los Angeles, my good buddy Lamar Wilson. Lamar, what's going on?
Doing well, man. How are you doing? Good to see you. Got some generic superheroes behind me, so we don't get copyright.
No hints, right?
No, none.
Chess game
None at all.
PS5 about to be announced. All right, well, Lamar, great to have you with us. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
at Jack Lamar, we're going to talk a bit about all things PlayStation 5 here. First of all, let me turn it over to you guys. Like, what do you want to see today? Like, it's PlayStation 5, the future of gaming. So, everyone's sufficiently hyped, but like, what's your expectation? Maybe let's start with you, Matt. Like, what do you want to see today?
I really want to see the box. Honestly, I know that that's in question, but there have been so many interesting images of what the hypothetical design for this thing
Yeah, I
looks
can't
like.
wait to see what it
I
looks
just want
like
to
either.
is this actually going to look like my futuristic space grill, or is it going to be another kind of like flat black rectangle? Don't get me wrong, I'm excited about the games. Obviously, there's a lot of PlayStation exclusive titles that I really want to see more footage of. But I mean, to really feel like this is a big announcement, to me, I need to see physical evidence of what this thing is going to look like.
All right, fair point. Yeah, we will see. I don't know. I mean, Sony's been doing things in an interesting way this year. It's like they might also just like drop that on like Twitter right before the event or something, or who knows?
Right, it's just going to appear in an Instagram story and then fade away within 24 hours.
I mean, you have no idea, right? It's
Right.
not, there's not a physical event, right? Even what this video is like, is it going to be? Will people be talking? Will it just be trailers? Will it be slick or everyone on webcam? Like
Flat black
no
triangle.
one knows.
A rectangle? No,
Jacksepticeye,
it's not the Xbox.
I know you love the game, and you love PlayStation franchises, so I'm sure you have some hopefully some predictions on what you'd like to see game wise too, right?
Yeah, I want to see Knack 3. Everyone's waiting for it. Where is it? I want to see an announcement for it finally.
Mark Cerny is sitting at home right now, and he just let out a
Write that
huge
down.
laugh.
Write that down. I keep hearing rumors of Bloodborne PlayStation 5 PC, and we've seen Sony come out and say that certain games are coming to PC. Horizon is coming. So I'm really excited to potentially get that.
new
A bunch
Bloodborne?
of people who are verified on Twitter keep saying it, so it must be true. And I just want to see maybe Horizon 2, since Herman took over. Maybe that'll be his new thing to show off. He can show us what the PS5 can do with that, because it looks so good on PS4 already. And maybe our boy Corey will come back and surprise us all with a new God of War. But that's pipe dream. That's out there with Knack 3 for me right now. But I hope both happen.
Manager. Well, but the thing is, Sony has so many amazing studios around the world and so many franchises. You said those are all like plausible things that they would do at some point, but it's like, will they announce all those today or just a couple? Like that's what we'll sort of have to see. Yeah. But yeah, good predictions. Lamar, what's for you? What would excite you? What would surprise you and delight you today if Sony talked about?
Yeah, so I really like Sony and the PlayStation 4, their exclusives. I think that's where they really stand out. So I want to see Ratchet and Clank. I want to see a brand new
Ratchet
one.
and Clank.
I've loved that since the PS3. I didn't get a chance to play it on the PS2, so I definitely want to see more of that. New Spider-Man game has to happen, or I'm gonna have an uprising. It needs to happen. And of course, I'll go with Jack with the Horizon 2. Definitely needs to happen. And who doesn't want to see hardware? Just like Matt said. So hardware, Spider-Man, I'm good.
Okay. So these are all, franchises we love. Sony's done such a great job with them. It's interesting that, The Last of Us 2, which is probably one of the defining games of this generation, is like next week. So there's still lots of PS4 left.
Right.
Based on what you guys have read and heard about PS5, like how do you want, or how do you think games are going to change in the next generation? Because PS4 is already, so incredible, and we're seeing amazing graphics and content. Like, what's going to make you guys jump to PS5? Is it just that you want, Sony delivers for you, so you always want to get the next one, or is there things about it that you get excited about, conceptually on like what the leap is?
I think for me, if I can jump in, I think for me, it's all about what narratives does this new generation of console open up, right? I think the biggest question I have going into these announcements, both with the PS5 and with the Xbox Series X, is what is the differentiating factor for why we still need consoles, right? Obviously, it's more tech. Obviously, the graphics are improved, the speeds are faster. But what is the leap that's going to change gaming. And
Thanks for the
to
donation,
me,
Voorhees.
so much of this like photorealism that we're getting in gaming right now is opening the door to deeper narratives, stuff that's going to be more immersive, stuff that's going to really put us in the mind's eye of the characters we're playing as. And I'm hoping that, like, yeah, in addition to kind of your fun games that you can play with friends on cycle and on repeat and things like that, I really want to see more games like Last of Us Part 2. That's the sort of thing that's really going to differentiate and say, hey, we are a storytelling art form here in gaming, and we have the technology now to really achieve the sky's the limit for whatever these fictional narratives are.
Yeah, I think deep storytelling is what's important here. I think that's where Sony really excels. As I mentioned about their exclusives, so seeing really good stories and having it where it really feels like you're engrossed in it, where there's no load times or minimal load times, where you're going from story event to story event, so you're really diving deep into it. That's what I like about games like The Last of Us 2, Horizon, which was a Zero Dawn, which is a great game, and I'm just looking for more depth.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff we're seeing with like the technology with Unreal Engine 5 and everything, where everyone's talking about ray tracing. That's the next big thing that we're going to see. And I'm sure lighting quality and texture quality and everything and streaming budgets and all that stuff gets like, it just gets bigger as the generations go on. And that's always an important thing. But for me, what's really interesting is, considering I've been playing Bloodborne and all those games again recently, the load times are just obnoxious at times. And when you go to something, I remember playing XCOM 2 on my PlayStation and then going to PC, and the load times are like 10 seconds versus a minute sometimes. And that is what I'm really looking forward to. Just getting into the game, getting the OS to be faster, going between store, between apps, between games, and then just seeing, now that it actually supports 120 FPS, I want to see if we finally, are we going to keep doing that thing where we get photoreal but stay at 30, or are we going to start breaching forward and go more or less photoreal, maybe even the same, or go to 60, or even are we going to see games really push to that 120 FPS limit? Because again, so many people have PCs now, and hardware there has become affordable in the mid-tier range where people can get 120 FPS, that I think that people are kind of going between both now, and we have so much cross-play happening that it'll be really interesting to see how fast the hardware is to push all those, because graphics are always going to get better, mocap will get better, and the narratives and everything will keep evolving as we go. But I'm really excited to see just how strong and fast this system is, especially after listening to Mark Cerny talk about it.
No, the reveal doesn't. The reveal happens in 30 minutes.
How fast that SSD is. It'll be really interesting to see it in practice.
Yeah, they said that we should make sure to watch the event with headphones on, which I thought was curious because there's like some interesting 3D audio in it. So
horror games.
You hear Mark Cerny's voice.
If they tell you to put headphones on, there's horror games coming.
It's going to be interesting to me to see what they do. As you said, I think you guys captured it right. Like, there's some amazing franchises. You know, that whole narrative a few years ago, but like the single player game was dying, I think has kind of passed us by, and people love great stories, and incredible, rich, detailed worlds, which Sony delivers. But as Matt said in the background, there's a question of, you know, do we still need a console? What is going into the cloud? And, you know, how's your phone going to interface with this? And it'll be interesting to see how much this presentation is about the games versus like the hardware story, and here's the UI, and here's what we're doing with PlayStation Now and all these other things. Or is it just going to be like, hey, let's capture your imagination with these incredible worlds and games, and all the other stuff will come later. And I don't know how technical it will be, because obviously Mark Cerny's talk was extremely technical. As he said in his talk, now comes the fun part, and I think this is the start of the fun today. So before we wrap up, is there anything that like Sony could do to screw this up today? Like, expectations are really high.
If they don't show the console, Sony is screwed.
Love PlayStation. You know, the system has done incredibly well around the world. They make great games. You know, the rumors are a little out of control, I think, in terms of things that some people are expecting today. So is there anything that you guys would say, like, hey, if this doesn't happen, I'll be disappointed?
They have to show the PS5 today. They have to.
You want them to do that they may not do, because that's the other thing, is like I worry that there's so much expectations that if there's not, 12 first-party games announced, people are like, what happened? Anything for you guys that might concern you if they do or don't?
I feel like they really need to either, they might not show off what the actual console looks like, and everyone really wants to see what it looks like, and we all see that dev kit with the giant V, and part of me kind of loves it, but either show off the console or give us a price. I think if people get either one of those, it'll give us something to kind of bite down on and to kind of look forward to. Of course, show games. I feel like more games and less talking is always a good point.
Yeah, to me, I was going to say same thing. The biggest place that they can misstep, I think, is price point, right? That's always the area that people are most sensitive about. It's the one that directly affects us as the consumers. And, you know, when they announced the PS3 price, it was a big punch in the gut to a lot of people who were excited about this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, I'm not that excited about this. And I don't think we're going to get a price today. If I were to make a prediction, I think they're going to wait to see what Xbox has in their, whatever their next announcement is. And then we'll get the price point a little bit down the line. But if they are brave enough to kind of launch a price out there, that's the one thing that I think will absolutely sink the ship if it's too high.
Yeah, I'm a little different on this. Obviously, I want to see all of that, but I really want to see gameplay. I think trailers are nice, and I know this is the summer, and that's when trailers come out. But I think people want to see how this runs with actual gameplay, even if it's just a little bit. And so I'm more concerned about that, and I think there'll be some people disappointed if that doesn't come to fruition.
Yeah,
that's a great point, Omar, because it should it's. Yeah, sorry, Jack.
No, sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, it's like, I think you're right, because if it's just a wall-to-wall trailers and CG trailers and everything, it's people like, I want to see what these games are actually going to look and play like. And even after the Unreal demo, everyone's like, it's real time, but is that real? And like, just, you know, it would be amazing. Someone just picks up a controller and just plays something, right? And we'll see. Like, this is like, it's such a new, different format to have this coming out as like a pre-recorded video that we're all watching. And it's like, you know, it was probably completed a week ago and sitting on someone's hard drive. And it's like, hey, we're about to hit play. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. All right, well, thanks for joining us, guys. We will all watch together, and it's going to be, I think, a fun day for all of us to see our dreams come to life. Hopefully, in the next half hour, or the internet will rage. So we'll see what's in store. But I'm excited about it, and thanks for joining us under these unusual circumstances. Hopefully, we'll see all you guys in person soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
For sure.
Thanks for having us, Jeff.
Right, thanks, guys. Matt, Pat, Jacksepticeye, and Lamar Wilson, great to have you guys with us. Now, another person who was with me for the PlayStation 4 reveal in New York City is a guy named Kyle Bossman. Kyle and I worked together back when I worked at MTV and Spike TV. And at the time, Kyle was a production assistant on my show for TV. And the producer of that show, Jeremy Hoffman and I came up with an idea in 2013 to put him on camera for the first time, because we thought he's just such a cool, interesting guy. And we came up with this idea of like, why don't you do this video about what you think Sony should do and not do at their PlayStation meeting? And we ran that video in 2013 in February as Kyle's first ever on-camera appearance. And ever since then, you've probably seen him on the internet. He's such an incredible voice and creator in his own right. So I asked Kyle this weekend, I said, hey, what you want to do a PlayStation 5 do's and don'ts for what Sony should do this time around? And he graciously agreed. So without further ado, here is Kyle Bossman with his do's and don'ts for the PlayStation 5 event.
Hello, I'm Kyle Bossman, expert video watcher. Here are my do's and don'ts for Sony's PlayStation 5 reveal. Do gameplay demos. So from what I understand, you've already said you're broadcasting this stream at 1080p 30 frames per second. Any case you're going to try to make for graphical fidelity and higher frame rates is lost there. That's like opening a can of beef ravioli and going, trust me, this smells very good. We can't. So I do think that today, sustained gameplay demos will be important. Last year, Mark Cerny showed Wired a demo of Spider-Man flying through New York City at the speed of a jet. Why haven't we seen that yet? I'd watch that for 4 hours. Don't overvalue a title reveal. So I know trailers got to happen. They serve a purpose. I want to talk about a very particular type of trailer, the title reveal trailer. These are trailers that you don't get to see much of the actual game, right? It's mostly a tease, and then the impact is the title at the end. These get the people who watch videos to scream and push over chairs. This is all publishers ever want. However, much like a promise ring, title reveal trailers are hard to pull off. If you want people to get excited by just your title, you must be one of two things: an unlikely sequel or long presumed dead. If you do not exhibit either of these qualities, we either already know you're coming or don't know what you're talking about, man. So you will have to show more of your game. If you're still confused, let's play a little game called Is the Title Enough? Spider-Man 2. No. Horizon Zero Dawn sequel. No. Project Legendfall. No. Bloodborne 2. Yup. Ratchet and Clank. Butt left. No. Silent Hill. Sorry, this actually would have been an easy yes, but it leaked too much. You gotta show some of that game. God of War. Ragnarok. No. Todd Howard's Reverse Hog Trot. No. Batman. Arkham Anything. No. Ape Escape 4. Monkey Ranch. I'll cry. Demon Souls Remastered. No. NASCAR in Hell. You know what? I'm very interested. Dude, be fashionably humble. The whole world is depressed and angry right now, with the exception of New Zealand, of course. We have less tolerance for smugness than ever before. So if you're coming out here with your webcam, your laptop microphones, behave yourselves. Nobody wants to see your porcelain dining room, Shuhei Yoshida. In fact, it's probably worth taking a page out of the playbook of late-night talk show hosts, finding the most relatable corner of your presumably very expensive home to stash your camera in. It works for me. I'm in a hot tub right now, and you'd never know. Don't knack. That's all the advice I have for you today, Sony. If you do those do's and don't do those don'ts, I'm positive you will continue to smash Instagram gaming records for years to come. Good luck.
Kyle Bossman, thank you for that, Kyle. I always had to have a little knack mention in there. All right. Thank you, Kyle. Lots of do's and don'ts. And as I think we've all been saying, we don't know quite how Sony is going to present this today. Will there be real people in it? Will it just be a voiceover like a Nintendo Direct? Will it be all trailers? Like, we really have no idea. And they've been, extremely secretive about what this presentation is. We know it's about an hour in length, a little bit longer than an hour from what we've heard. But exactly how long it is and what format it takes is an opportunity, I think, to learn about games in hopefully a new and different way. And Sony always does their events in a really unique way. So I'm personally really excited to see what the team at PlayStation
Me too,
has put together. Now, one new thing we're going to do this year is meet some new game creators and hear from some YouTube creators from around the world. One of the things over the past few years that has really excited me is seeing with the Game Awards how it's growing around the globe, and a brand like PlayStation is truly global, and the world will be watching today. So a few YouTube creators from around the world sent in videos talking a little bit about their excitement for today's event, and we'll take a look at those now.
Hey everyone, how's it going? I am, like so many others, so excited about PlayStation 5. I remember as a kid when the first one was released and how amazing it looked, and then the second, the third, and even with the fourth one, waiting in line at midnight the day of the release, getting the box, and I remember the excitement of opening it, turning it on, grabbing the controller and testing the games for the first time. I know I'm gonna feel the same way when this one is released. I feel like there's something very special about each PlayStation and how.
All right, hold on. I gotta turn this thing off.
Video games for a whole generation, right?
I got my alerts
really
playing over here.
What new games we get, but I'm also really excited to see more games brought back from the past, kind of like what they've done with the Crash Bandicoot saga or Resident Evil remakes, for example. Like, I love that nostalgic thing about, these video games that we played when we were kids and things like that. Also super excited about the new ones. I've loved, like, Spider-Man, for example, like how it looks, how it feels, the freedom, like what are we going to be capable of doing with the games on this new console, and how is it going to break with what we've been doing.
Sorry guys, my notifications were playing on another scene.
Super excited, paying a lot of attention to everything that you guys say today. I hope you're super excited too, and I'll see you online playing PlayStation 5.
I am so excited for the PS5 coming out because, honestly, this is a system that has represented a lot in my family over the years. We've had a lot of fights, a lot of good times and bad times between, battling for loot and Champions of Norrath, me and my cousins and my uncles trying to out-level each other. All the way into
minutes,
me and my
guys.
cousin
24
waking
minutes.
up this morning, both getting copies of one of our favorite games ever, Shadow of the Colossus, and trying to beat both all the Colossuses against one another on a race to finish first while I was running up upstairs to see how far he was, and he would come downstairs and check on me and be like, oh yeah, I already beat that guy 2 Colossus ago. You know, still looking back at that Christmas is one of my favorite moments ever. You know, I look at God of War 3 and the cinematic experience and story and the way God of Wars have been so indicative of these consoles and how the development of story and the development of visuals and the development of, I think, trailblazing as far as the industry has come has been integrated between these amazing franchises. And for me, PS5, it's an opportunity to do more. It's an opportunity for the new franchises to come out that will sweep our hearts away and really keep us living and breathing in that love of fantasy and a love of gaming and love of community shared through that process that, you know, inspired me to become a YouTuber to this day. You know, I wish that PS5 had all of their lineup ready to go right now because I would dive immediately into it, but I'll patiently wait. I'm really excited for Godfall, to be honest. I think this is a game that, you know, my dad's still playing a ton of Gearbox Borderlands 3 nonstop every day right now. He and I would have a lot of fun messing around with that one. The visuals obviously stunning. But for me, it's an exciting moment when a new console comes out, especially PlayStation's, because again, they're so good at helping to innovate and helping to empower creativity and empower new experiences for gamers alike that I can only imagine what this next generation of consoles, and especially with the PlayStation 5, is going to hold, and the memories that are going to be made for new gamers as well as old gamers like me throughout the next years to come. Very, very excited, and couldn't be more happy to be around with PlayStation 5.
Hey, hola amigas, amigos, yo soy Antrax, soy de México y wow, el día de hoy se presenta la PlayStation 5, una serie de consolas que sin duda ha marcado mi infancia y la de muchos. Cómo olvidar en la sala cuando jugaba con mi hermana de pequeño, horas y horas de diversión, de aventura, de experiencias, y el día de hoy se presenta el futuro de los videojuegos. Sin duda, ya muero por probarlo y pues vamos a ver qué ha preparado PlayStation.
All right. Thanks very much, Dantrax. We've got more YouTube creators that'll be joining us as we lead up to the live event. We are about 20 minutes away now from the live stream from PlayStation.
20 minutes.
And we'll, of course, be running it live right here, and we'll all watch this together. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we'll have a big post show over an hour of additional content after the briefing from PlayStation. And I'm really excited to dive into that after the show. All right. Well, right now we're going to get to another panel. 3 more YouTube guests from around the world joining us to talk about their PlayStation memories and what they're looking forward to today. First up, joining us all the way across the pond, our good buddy, Ali A. Ali, great to have you with us live. Look at that in the actual setup. I love it. How you doing, man? Great to have you with us. We've also got Lauren Zaside. Lauren, great to have you with us live. Looking very pink and looking good. I like it. Or purple, I guess I should say, right? All right. Also joining us from LA, Valkyrie. Valk, what's up?
Hi.
What's up? Oh, look at that. With a candle. I like it. You're bringing the right mood. I like it. All right. This is good. I need to get some candles in my setup. I got to do that. All right. Great to have you, Ray. So Ali, Lauren, Ray, this is a big moment for all of us. Let me go around and ask you guys, first of all, what's your favorite PlayStation memory, of all the games over the years or anything? We've all been playing PlayStation in different ways. Do you guys have any games or systems or anything that stand out to you as particularly resonant memories?
My very first gaming, even memory before I even owned anything, was going to my uncle's house, and he'd have a PlayStation 1, but it would never be set up all the time. He'd pull it out just for when me and my brother would come over, and we'd play one of the original Lara Croft games. So much fun. That actually got me into gaming. So it all started with PlayStation, technically.
Oh, that's amazing. I had no idea. All right. Well, that's cool. We'll see. Lara Croft is always around. I don't know if she'll be there today, but I'm sure there'll be another Tomb Raider in due time. Ray, what about you? Do you have any favorite memories in the past of things PlayStation related?
Oh yeah, my all-time favorite memory is I was always the one that played video games, and I have a younger sister, and she would always just watch me, and it was such a great way for us to bond. And I remember I played Kingdom Hearts in 3rd grade on my PlayStation 2, and my sister would just watch me, would stay up all night, eat junk food, and she would just use the cheat book and tell me where all the Dalmatians were, and just I don't know, it's just a great way to like bond with the family. Love it.
Hey, the dog. I like. You've got the perfect setup here. You got the dog, the candle. It's like I feel calm all of a sudden. It's like this is this is the way to do it. All right. Well, yes, Kingdom Hearts, such a classic franchise. And yeah, we just had the most recent Kingdom Hearts, so I don't know if we'll get another one today, but who knows?
Maybe.
Lauren, all things PlayStation. Where did it start for you? Do you remember which PlayStation?
So I missed PlayStation 1. My audio is good, right? Sorry,
Yeah, you're
my
good. We
microphone.
can hear you now.
I missed PlayStation 1. My parents had bought Nintendo 64 and they were like, that's good enough for a while. Like, you guys can play with that.
Yep.
But then PlayStation 2 was like when my gaming really took off. And I would play, Kingdom Hearts 1, 2.
PlayStation 2 was the
SSX
best console
Tricky
ever.
It's like one of my favorite games, and it's so hard to find. I recently wanted to like rebuy the PlayStation 2 version of it. I can't find it anywhere. But yeah, that was one of my first consoles that had me like gaming for hours. So holds a special place in my heart. PlayStation 2.
Yeah, no, I mean, all of us. I remember like going to the first E3, seeing PlayStation 1, and just like it's been amazing to see the legacy of all these systems, and that's why today I think is special. Obviously, we know a little bit about the system. We've seen the controller. We've seen some hints of some games, but as you guys as we roll into this in 20 minutes now, like what do you want to see? Like, what's going to excite you? I mean, the world's in such like a weird place right now. Like, are there certain games that you really want to see? Do you just want to get excited about graphics and like hear about, the controller and how it's going to work? Or let's start with you, Ali. Like, what do you, we'll see if Fortnite next gen is there. Probably not.
I know. I would take Fortnite for sure. But for me, having actually come from playing exclusively